Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich back home last night after spending almost a year in a Russian prison, falsely accused. The 32-year-old, along with fellow freed hostages Paul Whelan and Alsu Kurmasheva, landed at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland shortly before midnight last night, where they were first greeted by President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. They're not going to meet. They're not going to miss an opportunity to be on camera, are they? Joe Biden taking a lot of the credit, as we are now hearing some of the backstory of how this whole exchange took place. The brave reporter shook hands with Biden and with Harris, only to rush over to his family, who were awaiting for his arrival. Now, the vice president offered praises to Joe Biden, or at least that's what she attempted to do. In cut number 2, she gave the president all the glory, if you will, for making this happen.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day.
I'm not sure what she said. Obviously, she was off script a bit there. And the interesting part about that, and we're going to talk about this in just a minute in more detail, because we do want to give you the most up-to-date information on this historic exchange here. There's some people who aren't quite happy with the exchange. We got the return of some innocent people who were in prison because of false accusation. In return, Russia got 8 bad guys, truly bad guys. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But the vice president getting some flack because on her X account, they wrote about her greeting the return of these hostages. And they appeared to put a transcript of what she said, except in the post, it's not really what she said. They tried to brush over her latest word salad last night when she was expected to say something thoughtful, say something meaningful, words of wisdom, and she had another word salad. The vice president, she just can't escape this. When she gets off script, when she doesn't have a teleprompter in front of her, I guess we should be happy that she does at least read the teleprompter. Joe Biden has trouble even reading the teleprompter. He had words to say as well in cut number 3 as he greeted the return of these Americans as well.
You're stuck with me as president for a while, kid. There's no way out, okay? You got me for at least another 100 or 90 days or so.
He's not even sure how much longer he's going to stick around. Wow. 800-655-6453, 1-800-MIKE. Glad to have you join us. And again, what do you think about doing Free Speech Friday? You want to join me with a Mike Gallagher Show version of Free Speech Friday? 800-655-6453. Gershkovich hugged his mom, as you can imagine. It was just a joyful time. It was a touching time to watch the video of this. I can't imagine how I would feel if I had been held, falsely accused, by a foreign government. Now, the interesting thing is, reportedly, Mr. Gershkovich, who, he's a reporter, he's a journalist. One of his last things in Russia was putting in a request for an interview with Russian President Putin. Look, I guess if you're not going to get it if you don't ask, right? Of course, Putin never sits down with Western journalists, so it was sort of a parting shot on Gershkovich's side. He was, of course, arrested and accused of being an American spy last year. He had received a form to request presidential clemency from Putin in the days leading up to his arrest. And the Wall Street Journal reports that he returned that form with a request, with a note, asking for an interview. Now, Paul Whelan is 54 years old. He was visiting Russia for a friend's wedding when he was arrested for espionage in 2018. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison in 2020. Members of Mr. Whelan's family told the BBC that he had traveled to Russia multiple times over the past years. He had developed a friendship with a Federal Security Service agent. The FSS is the main successor agency to the old Soviet Union's KGB. He claimed to have visited the man's house before his arrest, where he loaned the man $1,140 for his upcoming wedding. The Russian government claims that this was a bribe or a payoff for Russian secrets. This is why he has been in prison since that time. 800-655-6453. I'm Joey Hudson in for Mike Gallagher. Hope you'll join the conversation on this Free Speech Friday, Gallagher style. So last night, of course, the president and the vice president could not pass up an opportunity to be on camera with these heroes returning to our country and seeing them reunited with their family. There's a problem, though, with Vice President Kamala Harris. They posted a video of her talking about the return of these Americans, and they posted what appeared to be the transcript of what she said in the video, I guess hoping that we wouldn't actually watch the video, when in fact it's nothing like what she actually said. The post reads, Vice President Harris said, "This is an extraordinary day, and I'm very thankful for our president. This is an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day, and you can see it in the families and in their eyes." That's what they posted, which if you see that, and you see that with an image and an icon to click on the video, you think, well, that's what she said. I don't need to watch the video. But when you do watch the video, here's what she actually said.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day.
Again, I'm not quite sure what she said, other than she threw in diplomacy a couple times. She threw in that it was an incredible day a couple of times, and that it was an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy. That's the lady who wants to be president of the United States. 1-800-655-MIKE, 1-800-655-6453. On this Free Speech Friday, let's start with Steve in Warminster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show.
Hi, Joey. Joey, I'm in a couple hours to go and announce Josh Shapiro as the VP choice, and I just want to let you know how Pennsylvanians feel about him, especially Catholics. He betrayed us. He said he would get into office and help us with school tuition choice. And when the vote came up, he voted against it once he got elected. He also sued the Little Sisters of the Poor to have abortion in their health plan. And he won. And it's not as rosy as it seems, and nobody sees that. He's not going to get the Catholic vote. He is just not going to do it. And that's, a couple million people here. They're just glossing over the guy. He's a liar.
So quickly, Steve, do you have some inside information? I mean, do you know for sure that it's going to be Governor Shapiro?
Well, they're clearing out one of the colleges for him to talk today. with her.
Interesting. Interesting. Appreciate your phone call, Steve. Have a great weekend. 1-800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. One line open for you on Free Speech Friday. I'm Joey Hudson, in for Mike Gallagher. A special thank you to Debbie, who just made a $200 donation to Food for the Poor. James, a $50 donation. Marlene, a $100 donation. Thank you for being generous. I need that $1,000. So where are we here? $350. I need a few $100 more. If you'll go to MikeOnline.com, click on the big red Give Life banner, or text Mike G to 51555. Help me. Give 100, give 500. I'd love for someone to give $1,000 so that we can show Mike that we kicked this off in such a great way. Mike's back on Monday. I'm Joey Hudson, in for Mike on this Friday. We're doing Free Speech Friday today. Your phone calls are welcome. 1-800-655-6453, 1-800-655-MIKE. Vice President Kamala Harris has the reputation for her viral word salads, and there's plenty of material because she has had some real doozies, as we would say in the South, in her 3 years as vice president. Comedy Central's The Daily Show featured well-known viral video clips of the vice president speaking in circles about, for example, the significance of the passage of time, the need to go to and need to be able to get to where you need to go, the time for us to do what we're doing, and that time is every day. And there's just a number of these. The show presents a fictional character with the name of Dahlia Rose Hibiscus, played by a comedian, joking that she is the holistic thought advisor behind Harris's political speeches. This advisor said that Harris's confusing comments were word voyages instead of sentences, citing the vice president's viral coconut tree speech as an example. She said, "It's a process I call speaking without thinking." It's not about the destination of the thought. It's about the journey and how many words you use to describe the journey. And boy, does she do that. The so-called thought advisor jokes that she begins her jobs by cutting up the vice president's speeches drafted by her staff into individual words before rearranging them, such as her comment about the ability to see unburdened by what has been. The character adds, "I hear the counter-arguments all the time. People should be able to understand what their leaders are saying when they talk, but I prefer to leave Kamala's thoughts open to interpretation like a work of modern art that you look at and go, I wonder what that was all about." Well, you have succeeded in that. I want to share with you, and those of you who tuned in to the Salem News Channel, snc.tv, and if you're not, quickly go to snc.tv, open your app, because you're going to want to see this as the Daily Show talks about her word salads.
My name is Dahlia Rose Hibiscus, and I am Vice President Kamala Harris's Holistic Thought Advisor. What is a holistic thought advisor? Well, it's holistic, yes, and I am advising. And what do we mean when we say that? It means that I am the one by whom the thoughts are being advised, from a place of advisement, and then once advised, communicated holistically.
What?
You get it. I lead the Vice President on not so much sentences as idea voyages.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
It's a process I call speaking without thinking. It's not about the destination of the thought. It's about the journey and how many words you use to describe the journey.
That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see, and because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
Whenever the Vice President gets a speech from her staff, the first thing I do is cut out all the words individually, and then I take those words to my word cave. That's where I wait to learn what order the universe wants them to be in.
All right, you get the idea. So this video, you're seeing this lady in this cave, in her word cave, waiting for the universe to tell her what order to put the vice president's words in. You got to watch this. Maybe we can post it at mikeonline.com so that you can go there over the weekend and watch this. But, it's funny, but there's a lot of truth to it. A lot of truth to it. When you listen to Kamala Harris speak, and we're going to get the opportunity to listen to Kamala Harris over the next few months, there's a report that the vice presidential staff and the campaign staff have been working with the vice president on sticking to the teleprompter and only talking off of the talking points on the teleprompter rather than talking extemporaneous.